Hi, my name's Howie the Great. I've been asked by Penguin Magic to talk about getting hired for restaurant work as a magician. The restaurant where I work this evening, I took the Bill Malone approach, which is takeaway. The takeaway approach is basically you go in there, usually after the lunch rush, and you start entertaining the people that work there, the staffing, the people at the bar. Usually the owners are in the back calculating and getting ready for the evening, and what they'll do, they'll hear all this commotion, and they'll come out and say, you know, what's going on? Why is everybody having so much fun? And you just talk to them about that you performed in restaurants similar to the one where you're at. You can say, what I said is, this restaurant reminds me of a restaurant where I used to work. And you plant the seed in their mind. You say, you know, I think it would be a really good idea if you call a local magician in the area and see about getting a magician to work in your restaurant. You know, it's whatever type of restaurant it is, if it's a bar or if it's a family place, you can say this would be great for families, you know, like that. And then say, you know, here I'm a magician, here's my card. I mostly work private events and trade shows, whatever you want to say. And then you can close by saying, you know, if I were to work in a restaurant again, I would pick a restaurant just like this. I would pick this place. And basically when you're leaving, and this is what happened to me, the restaurant where I'm working tonight, they said, well, if you change your mind and you want to work here, give us a call. And then I got a call, I got an email 2 weeks later, and they were asking, you know, do you have any availabilities? And that's where I book my Tuesday nights. So takeaway approach is really good for booking. Another thing you can just start, find out who's the boss when you go in there. Go in there on a busy Thursday or a busy Sunday, something like that, and say, who's in charge here? And talk to that person, say, I'm a professional magician, here's my card. Would you consider hiring entertainment here to minimize the wait while people are waiting to get in or waiting for their food? And you can say, look, I'll go ahead and give you a gratis, you know, free night or free day that you can start working for them. Make sure that you tell them, don't watch me, don't watch what I'm doing, watch your guests, watch their faces, watch their reactions. And when you're working these tables in the restaurant, you know, refuse tips. If they're persistent in wanting to tip you, it's complimentary and it's nice to take the tip and accept it graciously. But basically you can tell the people you're performing for, say, hey, look, if you like what you saw, tell the management, and that'll get you hired. Yeah, setting wage is great. I'd say base is $150 an hour. You can say if you want to work 2 or 3 hours, you can go down to like $85 or $65 an hour. I think that's pretty much the going rate. The restaurant where I work at House Restaurant on Wednesdays and weekends. They have me for 3 hours, and I'm getting $85 an hour at that, which is great. Now, before the economy went, I was working 3 restaurants a week at $150 per hour, 2 hours per restaurant gig. And I let them know, you know, I'm not a clock watcher. Once my 2 hours is up, if there's people still wanting to see the magician, I'm not going to leave. So they know that I'm there working as a team. And of course, all of the staffing, they really like having the magician there. It increases their tips. Everyone's laughing and having fun. And oftentimes, a wait staff person will come up, and basically you're on their team. You know, they're like, hey, Howie, get over here. We need some help at this table. We've got some issues or whatever. All kinds of opening lines when you approach a table. This is a great one. You say, is this the fun table? You know, they're like, yeah, it's the fun table. You're in right there. Gregory Wilson has a great line. He says, pardon the interruption. Actually, his exact line is, I hate to interrupt you guys, but that's what I do for a living. How am I doing so far? You know, and it's like, all right, you're in. Most of the tables I approach, I'm wearing a suit and tie. I approach the table as a manager. I'll say, is everything okay tonight? How's everything going? Is this the fun table? Boom. You know, they're laughing, they're into it. You can, I think Dan Garrett approaches tables, he'll say, hey, have you seen the magician that works here? They're like, no. And then he does something like making himself appear or something, or doing something. So many different ways to approach the table. Any other questions, Chris? Thanks a lot. I'm Howie the Great.